All right.
We're back with the Game Academy.
I'm Mark
And I'm Reed.
And today we're going to teach you how to play
Kaijudo.
Kaijudo. So there's two reasons why we're doing this. One reason is I have a tournament that I'm running at a convention this next weekend. So you'll notice our shelving is a little bit different since we are filling in spots for stuff that we're taking to the game library. So we run that. And so Reed and I are going to teach people how to play. There's not a real clear or concise video out there that we found that helps you make total sense of the game in one go. We're going to try that. We're going to give that an attempt. So first thing I want you to take notice is Reed's deck there. Kaijudo is a trading card game. It's collectible. And in this game, you have 40 cards that you start with.
And you can have as many as you want, but you have to at least have 40, and we each have 40.
Yep, so you at least have 40. Then what you do is you draw a hand of 5 cards, and you put in front of you, from your deck, 5 cards. May seem reminiscent of Pokemon if you've ever played that, but basically you put those cards face down from your deck in front of you, and these are called your shield. That's your shield zone. Those basically are, in a way, your life. But also, you'll gain them if you lose a shield, you'll gain that card to your hand. So that's important. If your shields are ever completely gone and you're attacked by a monster, you lose the game.
Yep.
So get rid of those shields is the name of the game.
And we played this game before, and my dad's beat me 2 times in a row at it.
Yeah, it's terrible. So, all right, well, let's explain some of the card types first.
Yep.
So you've got your basic card types. We got spells and we've got monsters. So I'm just going to hold up a card, and this is a spell here that we have. And this is called Logo Scan. In the upper left-hand corner, we have the cost of the card. It costs 3 mana. We'll explain how you get mana in a little bit, but basically your cards double as their own mana. Alright, the spell ability just allows you to draw 2 cards. Pretty simple. It's a spell. You cast it.
But you have to have blue
We'll talk about that. Yep, we'll talk about that in a minute when we talk about summoning. So, the next one here, Reinforce, is another spell, but there's this little symbol here and right here that says Shield Blast. Now, if you happen to be lucky enough to have this in your shield zone, and your opponent attacks you, and they attack that shield zone where this card is, you get to play this card for free instead of paying the cost up here. So you won't have to pay this cost. You'll just get to cast this automatically and do what the card says. So pretty simple.
Yep.
So that's what these spell cards can also be for. Now, if it's just in your hand, it wasn't in your shield zone, you just have to cast it as normal. You spend the points, the mana points. Then you've got some different creatures. The basics of a creature are going to be, in the upper left-hand corner, is not only the cost, but it's also the level or rank of the creature. So this is a level 3 or a rank 3 monster. It's got a type of monster that it is. That's important for evolutions if you have evolutions. Basically, if you get an evolution, you put the evolution on top of this monster. And evolutions, when they're destroyed, go to your mana pool, which we'll talk about later. But not everybody gets evolutions right away, so we'll talk more basics here. But
once I had evolution, but I traded it to someone.
Okay. And right down here, lower left-hand corner, is their amount of attack. Now this doesn't damage him, but it will damage other creatures. And we'll talk about that when we get into attacks. But this one's 1,000. Now some cards will have this plus on them, and some won't. But some will have a special ability. Like this one has a powerful attack, and he gets plus 4,000 while he's attacking. He gets plus 4,000 power. So he becomes 5,000. So that's how that works. When he's not attacking, he's only 1,000. So better to send him in than to leave him back. Then you also have some of these other creatures. Once again, 4 cost, 4 rank. Here's his name. Here's his type. The colors. Remember, these colors we're going to talk about in a minute. He's a creature, but you'll see he's got 5,000 attack or power, and he's got this terminology here that says blocker. And guard means he can't attack. But blocker means that you can use this card to stop an opponent's attack. This is one of the few ways you can actually stop an opponent's attack. And we'll, once again, talk about that in a moment. So those are some of your basic cards. You also have a few multicolored ones. There's a few restrictions on these. First of all, you can bring this in as mana. We'll talk about that in a minute. But well, let's just talk about that in a minute. But there are some multicolored ones, and we won't go over that right now. Let's talk about that in a moment. Okay, so let's talk about how a turn's going to play out here. I'm just kind of shuffling my deck right now. So the first player, on their turn, they're not going to draw a card. Normally, the first thing you would do is draw a card. You also have untapping. If you played Magic the Gathering, or most games, tapping basically says that you turn a creature, normally they'd be like this, you turn them sideways to show that they've done their activity and they can't be used again. That's tapping. At the beginning of your phase, you'll untap any creatures that are tapped.
Mine.
Plus, mana comes untapped. Would have come untapped earlier, but anyway. So you'll draw your card, and then it's your mana phase. So I'm going to just draw a random hand of cards here. Alright, doesn't matter what these are. Okay, that's pointless at the moment. Yes, Reed?
Are you gonna put your things out?
No, not yet. So I just want to show. So I've got these different colors, right? These are different civilizations. You got darkness and your fire civilizations. So in order for me to summon one of these, I have to have at least 1 mana of that color. At some point I would have had to play it. So I'm going to form my Mason-Dixon line here, my shields, and put those out in front of me. Some of these cards are a little beat up. Okay, so anyway, I put that out in front of me. And now I got to decide, what do I want to do? Well, this hand's really bad because it's all high-cost stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this purple card, and you can take one of your cards and use it as mana. So I'm going to take this card, I'm going to put it down below, I'm going to try and, I'm going to put it down below my line here, and that's going to be one of my mana now. I can't ever use this card again for anything but mana. He becomes mana. He is, like in Magic the Gathering, he's a land. So if you're familiar with that terminology, he's a mana. He's what you use to summon. He's 1 mana. Ignore everything else. He's purple, he's mana. Okay? If I would have had red out there, that would have been red mana. 1 red mana. Now, mana really doesn't matter. It's colorless at that point, because what happens is once you've played out a color of mana, it unlocks that category. So now that I've played this red, I can summon any red. Once I've played a purple, I can summon purple. I don't need purple. Let's say I had a 2-cost purple. I could tap these 2 mana and bring out a purple card. I don't have to use this purple card of mana to bring it out, if that makes sense. Mana is interchangeable at that point. These just unlock those civilizations so you can bring them out. So the rest is irrelevant. So once per turn, bring out your mana. Okay? That's phase 1. next phase is your main phase. At this point, you can cast spells or summon creatures. Now, once again, you look at how much mana you have, you look at what is in your hand, and see what you can cast. You look at the upper left-hand corner, once again, can you summon said spell or creature? I can't summon any of these. So, I would not do anything on this turn. Now, maybe next turn, I can get out another card and play this Vorg that only costs 2. He's pretty common, 2,000 attack. That's all he does. He's pretty easy to get out. But anyway, once I do that, then I can attack in my next phase. Once I'm done with my summoning or whatever, my spells, then I can attack. We'll talk about attack in just a moment. Once you've assigned your attacks, then you end your turn. Sometimes things will trigger off the end of turn, and that's basically your turn. So, at the beginning, untap your cards. If you have mana tap still, untap it now. Draw a card, one card, unless you're the first player on the first turn, then you don't draw. Then you play 1 mana. It stays out there. Then you do your main phase, which is spells, summon, or one other thing is when you summon a creature, and this is important, when you do summon a creature, they have what's called summoning sickness, we call it. It's not described as such in the rulebook, but basically what happens is on your first turn that creature comes out, he can't attack. He can do anything else. If he's got the blocker ability, he can still block. But he can't do anything as far as an attack goes. He has to rev up. Now, there are a few cards that have fast attack, and this guy has it, fast attack, which allows him to attack as soon as he's summoned. But those are the exceptions to the rules. Okay, so that's one of those things. Now, I was also going to tell you about those multicolored cards. The multicolored card you can use as mana. If you put him down here as mana, he unlocks both spheres of influence or civilizations, but he comes into play tapped, so you can't use him for that mana right away, that 1 mana. So that's his drawback. Now, if you summon him, you only have to have influence in one of those spheres to summon it, is basically it. And there's nothing too special about that. So, with that being said, we're going to try and fast forward here and get to some attacks. Reed and I are going to play through a little bit, and we're going to show you some live demonstrations of some attacks and what you can do. Hang on just a moment. Alright, so here we are with a potential battle situation. On my side, I have Vorg. Vorg's been out a few turns, and I've also got this Gatling Sky Terror. But I just brought him out this turn, so I can't use him to attack. He's got what we call summoning sickness, in my terminology at least. But Vorg, he can attack. Now, we look at Reed's defenses. So here's what Reed has. First of all, I can attack Reed. I can tell him I'm going to attack, and what I can do is I can either attack his shields, and I'll say, I'm attacking this shield. Or I can attack one of his tapped creatures. He doesn't have any tapped creatures.
I don't.
But if I attack, I'm tapping this creature. Okay, so in that case, if I say I'm going to attack here, Reed has a card that says he's a blocker. Well, he can tap this creature to change an enemy creature's attack to this creature. Alright? So, let's say we do this. What's going to happen then is we look at the numbers, 2,000 versus 2,000. The life, the attack, and defense are the same thing in this game. 2,000 versus 2,000 is a wash. Both of them die. Otherwise, it's whoever has the higher number is the winner. And the other one goes bye-bye to your graveyard or your discard pile or whatever you want to call it. If a card says banish something, by the way, that means it goes to your discard pile. So, right here, if this is the situation that we're running into, I'm going to ask Reed. I'm going to say, all right, Reed, I'm going to attack with Vorg. And he's attacking your middle shield.
This one?
The middle, yep.
I'm blocking.
All right, so tap him. And both these guys
Get banished.
are going to banish. Now, his guy had a special ability, too. We're not going to really talk about that. You can read those, when you play the game. But that's a very simple example of attack. So one thing that you can do in this game is if somebody attacked you the turn before, their creature will be tapped. So, like, if Reed would have attacked me with this guy last turn, he would have been tapped. And then maybe I'd go, okay, well, my Sky Terror will attack his guy to get rid of him. But then again, that leaves those undefended. Not that he could have defended because he didn't have guard. And he can go right there, attack it. So, it makes it a very quick game. Now, one other thing is, let's say I get through unblocked. Because this guy doesn't have guard. Let's say this is the situation. I attack. That guy can't block. He can't guard. I'm attacking that middle card. Reed would then take this card. He'd look and see if it says Shield Breaker on it. Or Shield Blast. Which it does. And if it does, then he does the ability. If not, he adds it to the hand. He doesn't have to show me the card unless he's using it, obviously, for that Shield Blast ability. And this one says, target enemy creature can't attack or block until the start of next turn. So I just keep that card with him as a reminder. But that's basics of attacking. I mean, really, there's not a whole lot more to it than that. Reed, any thoughts on that?
What? Yeah. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a real simple game with some good rules. Go ahead, Reed.
And I like this cave looper because its special ability, when this card gets banished, you may draw a card. So
yeah,
it's kind of good. I like that ability.
So lots of abilities in this game, lots of different little things that make it strategic. So it's worth checking out. So Kaijudo. It's a revision of Duel Masters, so look into it. Reed and I highly endorse it as far as trading card games go. See you next time on the Game Academy.
Bye.